Story of Trishanku and Trishanku Heaven. Trishanku was a king belonging to the Ikshvaku dynasty, and he ruled over the kingdom of Ayodhya. He wanted to enter heaven with his body and requested the sage Vasishta to perform the yagna to enable this. Vasishta refused to do so because it was against nature for someone with a body to go to heaven. Trishanku was unhappy with Vasishta's response and went to Vasishta's sons. They were angered by his request and also thought that Trishanku had insulted their father. Thus, they cursed him to become a Chandala. In desperation, Trishanku requested the sage Vishwamitra to perform the yagna. Vishwamitra, who had a rivalry with Vasishta, took on the challenge. During the yagna, Trishanku's body started ascending towards heaven. On seeing a body approach his kingdom, Indra pushed the body back towards the earth. But Vishwamitra's powers kept Trishanku from coming back to earth. Refusing to give up, Vishwamitra, with his unmatched spiritual abilities, created a new realm between heaven and earth specifically for Trishanku. Trishanku was left hanging upside down in his Trishanku heaven.
Long ago, in ancient India, there lived a king named Harischandra. He was not the richest king. He was not the strongest king. But he was known for something far more powerful. He never lied. Not once. Not even when truth caused him pain. Not even when truth took everything away. His kingdom was peaceful. His people loved him. His wife Chandramati stood beside him with quiet strength. His young son Rohitashva filled his life with joy. Everything was perfect. But one night, while the world slept, destiny awakened. The great sage Vishwamitra appeared before Harishchandra in a dream. His voice was calm, but his words were heavy. "You have promised to give me anything I ask. Now give me your entire kingdom." Harishchandra woke up trembling. It was just a dream, or was it? The next morning, Vishwamitra stood before him in real life. The dream was real, and Harishchandra had only one choice. He could lie and keep everything, or tell the truth and lose everything. He did not hesitate. He removed his crown. He stepped down from his throne. He gave away his kingdom. In a single moment, he was no longer a king. He was just a man. But the test was not over. Vishwamitra demanded more. He asked for payment for the ritual. Harishchandra had nothing left. So he made the hardest decision of his life. He sold himself. He sold his wife. He sold his son. Not for greed, not for power, but for truth. His wife and son were taken away by strangers. Their cries echoed in his heart, but he did not stop. He walked alone into darkness. Harishchandra became a servant at a cremation ground. The king who once ruled thousands now guarded the dead. Day and night, he watched bodies burn into ashes. Smoke filled his lungs. Grief filled his soul. But still, he never lied. One night, during a cold and silent storm, a woman arrived carrying the body of a young boy. Her clothes were torn. Her face was covered in tears. It was Chandramati. It was his wife. And the dead child was his son, their only son. Snakebite had taken his life. Her voice broke as she spoke. "I have no money. Please allow me to cremate my son." Harishchandra's heart shattered. Every part of him wanted to scream, to hold her, to cry with her, but he had a duty, and he had the truth. With tears in his eyes, he spoke the words that destroyed his soul. "I cannot allow it without payment." His own wife fell at his feet, begging. But Harishchandra did not break, not because he didn't love her, but because he loved truth more than himself. In that moment, the heavens trembled. The gods themselves appeared. This was never punishment. It was a test, and Harishchandra had passed. No king had ever sacrificed so much. No human had ever held truth so tightly. The gods restored his kingdom. They restored his son's life. They restored his honor for eternity. Harishchandra did not win by power. He did not win by war. He won by refusing to lie. He lost everything, but he gained something greater than a kingdom. He gained immortality.
King Sagar, a Suryavanshi ruler from the Solar dynasty, was an ancestor of Lord Ram. He was blessed by goddess Saraswati to have 60,000 sons. Once, the king decided to perform the Yashwamedh Yajna to prove his supremacy over the other rulers on earth and for the betterment of his kingdom. In a yajna like this, Ashwa, meaning a horse, is of integral importance. Lord Indra was always jealous of the king's power. Fearing that the successful end of this yajna will eventually lead to more powers to the king Sagar, he decided to steal the horse so the sacrificial ceremony would never be complete. He stole the horse of the Ashwamedh Yajna and left the horse at the ashram of sage Kapil, who was in deep meditation. The king ordered his 60,000 sons to go in search of the horse in all the three lokas. When the sons reached the hermitage of sage Kapil, they found the horse tied to a tree outside his ashram. Instinctively, they thought it was sage Kapil who had stolen the horse. Furious at this, they began cursing the sage, eventually disrupting his tapasya and waking him up from his deep meditation. The sage, angered by the actions of the sons, cursed them all to be burned down to ashes. The souls of the 60,000 sons of King Sagar wandered as ghosts as their final rites were not performed. Over a period of time, many men from the family of the Suryavanshis like Anshuman and Dilip tried to free the souls of the 60,000 men. However, none of them could succeed in this attempt. Later, Bhagirath, the son of Dilip, became the prince of the Sagar dynasty. When he came to know about the awful deaths of his forefathers, who were unable to attain peace after death, he was determined to set their ancestors free from their bad fate. Regretfully, he handed over the duties of a prince and his kingdom at the hands of his ministers and set out to save the souls of his ancestors. Firstly, he reached the ashram of sage Kapil, who brought his ancestors this fate. He humbly reached out to the sage and with folded hands apologized for the sins of his forefathers. He then asked the sage how could he possibly free his ancestors from their sufferings. Sage Kapil advised that the souls could only attain moksha if their ashes were poured into Ganga. However, the problem was that Ganga was not on earth but was in the Kamandala of Brahma. So Bhagirath would have to please Lord Brahma to bring Ganga on earth. Hearing this, Bhagirath thanked the sage and set out to perform severe penance that lasted a long time. After many years, Brahma, pleased with the integrity and determination of Bhagirath's penance, appeared in front of him to fulfill his wish. He agreed to give away his daughter Ganga for the welfare of humans on earth, but there was a problem. Ganga told Bhagirath that if she were to descend from the sky to the earth, her fall would be difficult to sustain as the mighty force of Ganga would destroy the entire planet and all of its creation. She asked Bhagirath to request the mighty of the Trinity, Lord Shiva, for help as no one except him would be able to control Ganga. Bhagirath again did severe penance to please Shiva. Shiva, in favor of this plan and for the welfare of mankind, accepted the request of Bhagirath. Shiva asks Ganga to descend from the sky and fall on his head. He contained the force of Ganga in the locks of his matted hair and let her fall on earth in small streams. However, in the process of flowing on earth, Ganga destroyed the ashram of sage Janu. Angry at this, the sage decided to stop the flow of Ganga right there. He drank up all the water of Ganga and stored it in his belly. The gods came to Muni Janu and informed him of the superior motive behind bringing Ganga on earth. Respectfully accepting the order of the gods, Janu released Ganga. Ganga thankfully referred to sage Janu as her father, thus obtaining the name Janvi, meaning Janu's daughter. Bhagirath was then able to immerse the ashes of his ancestors into the river Ganga, thus liberating their souls. It was because of Bhagirath's determination and hard work that Ganga was able to reside on earth. Hence, the river is also referred to as Bhagirathi.